Well, this whole time, I guess I need to start all over. Thanks, my man Don Morris. Appreciate you. Um, okay. Well, there again, that's what going live does. So I'm gonna start over. I'm Warren Page. The video you saw is our sponsor, Power Core Rods. That's also me. Um, but that's the core series, which I designed that to be for the working man, and where you can pick your own color rod, your thread color, and you can ask for your name on it. $129, but because they're sponsoring the boat ramp, is boat ramp 10 gets you 10% off. I also have some combos on sale that's rod and reel core series for $109 right now. Um, so go check them out. I'm gonna start all over. uh, but anyway, this I've been wanting to do this series Tuesday and Thursday nights. Um, it's called Beyond the Ramp. So I ain't talk about fishing. We do that on Friday nights, but I wanted this series to be about things that going on in the world today, things that everybody's struggling, and I talked it over with the cowboy preacher and thought that bringing in a biblical perspective on how I still have no audio. Oh no, never mind. Anyway, so I wanted just to bring some hope where there may not be any for you, and just see, that's a lot of what the world's missing today is a moral compass. And I am not perfect by no means. And anyway, I I ain't gonna go over everything I just said because I can't remember. We're just gonna kind of wing this. We'll have subjects to talk about. I did want to say if you have a certain subject you want us to discuss, um, we would like to email by Friday night at least, so we can get prepared during the week for it. But if you have a specific thing you want to talk about, it's the boat ramp 24 at gmail.com. You can send us a request or on Facebook, uh, send message in Messenger or even comment below, um, and on YouTube, however you're watching this. Um, anyway, that's we're just gonna kind of wing it tonight, and I'm fixing to bring in the host. I'm not gonna introduce him. I'm gonna let him do that, but he'll explain the cowboy preacher and why they call him that, and we'll go from there. So I'm gonna bring in cowboy preacher. Hey, buddy.
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, not much. Yeah, I can hear
Can you
you.
hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, I am Jess Page, and I'm related to your host by birth. Happens to be our son.
I mean,
Now on the boat ramp. Okay, that's his mama's boy right there. On here, he's my son. So you know, um, no, it's like Warren said. We're living in a world that seems to have lost its moral compass. And, as a Christian, I believe the Bible has we can discuss about the Bible and things at another time, but we've got to have some type of moral compass if we're going to at least survive day to day. We've got to have something to keep our kids. I mean, if you look around us, even 20 years ago, you wouldn't have believed what's happening today. But beyond that, let me tell you a little bit about myself and more and see where I got my name. I was born January 5th, 19. Living in
So
Palm City.
you're old.
Well, I'm about 3/4 up the mountain. I'm about 3/4 up the mountain. You know, that's about it. Worked on the dredge. My daddy worked on the dredge that put the dike around Lake Okeechobee. The Corps of Engineers came in and put that dike around there to keep it from flooding like it did before, killing so many people. And while who happened to be engaged to a rancher, and they up ran off, and here I am. I'm Jess Page Jr. So then my daddy was an alcoholic, narcissist. I had one sister, two brothers. All of them have passed away. I'm the only one left. We moved from Stewart to New Jersey. I know that's Yankee country. I know that's Yankee country. You know, that's Yankee country. But most of the time we get this idea about the when we talk about the state, you know, city, everything. The news people and all of those get. They project as if that's the state. Yet New Jersey, where we finally settled, was just as country as anything down here. They just country folks. So I lived in like I said, an alcoholic, dysfunctional home. Started smoking when I was 8. Got on my first drunk when I was 12, and my dad went to prison. I went to service at 17. Finished my time in the service, returned to Stewart, Florida. Built up quite a reputation for drinking and fighting and all that kind of stuff. I don't think I was that bad, but some people said it was. And I thing to do. In fact, I really didn't like God at all. Christians, you know, they presented God, so I kind of hated Christians too. When I hated preachers worse than I did Christians, because I've had some. So, after that, I met my wife. Started dating her, Carol, and but when I first took her out, and I went to hang out at the Dairy Queen in Stewart, where we all did, somebody said, her daddy's a Christian. He's a deep lay preacher. I said, what? And I said right then, well, I'll tell you right now, if he starts that garbage with me, I'll drop her like a hot cake. He never did. But I would ask him questions about it. Kind of con guy, like he was kind of a con artist. So I knew he talked about this religious stuff. I figured I'd get on his good side. He taught me. And one of the things that he taught me was he didn't have all the answers. I'd ask stupid questions. Does it say in the Bible you can't drink a beer? Does it say in the Bible you can't drink a beer? Does it say in the Bible do that? He said, well, I don't just to do that. He said, well, I don't know. Let me tell you what I do know. He talked to me about Christ, God's Son, coming to this earth, die for my sinners. He didn't really have to ask me if I was a sinner. I mean, I was papered and registered sinner. So he didn't have to do that. And anyway, he just shared with me each time. He didn't try to get into some big theological discussion. And eventually one night, I just fell on my knees. I was by myself in a trailer in Rio, Florida. God be merciful to me, a sinner, and I gave my life to him right then. Went on, got married. 9 months after I saved, we'd build a new house. We got married, and then I was off to school in January semester at Baptist Bible Institute, which became the Baptist College of Florida, which now has become the Baptist University. So I'm, I guess,
How many?
of a college and a university. But anyway, from that part, God had called me into the ministry. I went to school, and then I started off pastoring, and I was at pastorate when Biggin was born. We were pastoring Pleasant Hill Baptist Church in Florida, Alabama, kind of Baker Hill, where it is, close to it. And anyway, I pastored, have been in the ministry since I was licensed in 69, I believe. And then I've been a pastor of a number of churches. The largest church I pastored was around 600 to 30, 32, somewhere around there. I've been in the cowboy ministry, and that's where you get the cowboy preacher from. I started in 1981 and started the cowboy ministry in Lake Placid, Florida, and was a rodeo chaplain and announcer. And then but we have 2 children, Warren and our daughter Missy.
Yeah, you can see everything in the back. Yeah, behind me. We're in the same room.
I'm redoing my I'm redoing my office, and that was a long time ago. And Sweet Love, she is getting on to me about finishing this office.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm gonna have.
Yeah, we're in the same room, so I can.
But I left the cowboy ministry, went back to the pastorate, and then got involved with a motorcycle ministry, Faith Riders, and then we ended up retiring and coming back down here to Florida, and here we are.
And he's still riding the steel horse instead of a real horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, he traded in them spurs and got some chaps in a vest.
Yeah, there you go. But people still refer to me as Cowboy Preacher, and so that name kind of hung on me. The only other nickname I got is Padre, and that was given to me by a man that I highly respected. And it kind of stuck with me as far as motorcyclist, Padre. But yeah, people refer to me as Cowboy Preacher, so that's what I go by.
Can you hear me all right? And you're here? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Yeah. So when he talked about Padre, I know he's not watching tonight, but once we figure out a topic or whatever that I think he would have some perspective on, we'll probably invite him on. So it ought to be interesting. But anyway, I'm not going to give you my full story because like I said, I'm not of course, he wasn't perfect either. We still are. Neither one of us are perfect. We get each other riled up every now and then, and that was one reason why we thought about doing this and helping anybody out. If we do this for 20 weeks and we help one person, it's all worth it. So
yeah.
So trying to think what else we want to.
When Warren talked to me about this, I like it because there's been I think sometimes a negative perception of a pastor. They seem to anyone that there's television. They don't discern the difference between
Well,
preacher and pastor.
and let's just get in. I mean, we can get into this all day, but you know, I mean, just say the Joel Osteens. I mean, that's to me how I see it, and this is the way I wanted this, because not that cowboy preacher's not out in the world. I'm in the world all the time with my regular job, so I see things and I hear things, and what he's saying is there's such a negative. I mean, with the attack on church and Christians today is, and especially with the other ticket running that would love to destroy the Christian, the Catholics, the Christians, all that because they fear it.
Oh yeah,
They fear it because whether you believe him or not, God gives hope. And that's the problem that they don't want. They want to control the hope. That's the way I see it. And you know, I see things all the time, and that's why I wanted to say what I see. And just like the Joel Osteens, they are feelings pastors. They want you to feel good, but don't teach you anything that. I mean, I can go out and give a motivational speech and make you feel good about yourself.
oh
I
yeah.
can tell you anything you want to hear, but to bring a biblical point to it, and then after that is brought to you, you can decide to do with it what you want. We're not pressuring you to do anything. This is basically an opinion podcast, and we're gonna give our opinions, but we're gonna give you a biblical lens to look at and something you can think about. If you were bound to, there's gonna be people bound and determined not to listen to what we have to say, and that's fine. You know, and
Yeah. Again, with me,
yeah,
and I know with you about a number of things.
yeah,
But a Christian is supposed to base his life on what we believe the Bible is the truth, and that's a fact for us. Now, it may not be a fact, and you might say, well, that's your opinion. And I could say, well, I believe as a Christian, and the Christian believes that the Bible is the absolute truth. So if he said, "Thou shalt not," for instance, he sets down the Ten Commandments, and your opinion says, "Well, that's the 10 suggestions."
that's right, that's right.
But to Christians, that's a commandment for us. It's not a commandment for an unbeliever. And that's where I think Christians fall short.
And that's where
don't believe in God.
That's where I think they drive people away because they judge when they shouldn't judge. One, and I think they drive people away when you say, "Oh, well, you should." That's the Well, I mean, an atheist is going to go. That's I don't recognize those as commandments. I follow the law, but it's not.
Yeah. For instance, look, we as America, okay, we follow the laws of America, and we have the Supreme Court to put laws at the law. Now, it doesn't mean just because the Supreme Court for a Christian says that we've made this in the law does not mean that a Christian has to accept, I mean, if the Bible opposes it. But just like abortion, Christians per se,
Right.
Christians are opposed to abortion. The Supreme Court ruled that abortion is legal.
Right.
Okay. All right. So based on that, the world has a
Right.
law, and it says
Right.
abortion is legal. And Christians say, but God has a law, and for us, it's illegal, and we
Right.
oppose that law. Okay, so and the world's right. That's
Right.
their opinion that the law stands as Supreme Court law, and the Christian says no. This is what we believe.
And then so the First Amendment, I can say I don't believe that. And I should be able to say that without being ridiculed, that I don't agree with that.
Right.
You know, supposed to be protected.
But
you know,
yeah, but see, when you get people in that, I understand why. If they're not Christian, I understand why they believe what they believe and why they believe what they
Right.
believe. Because they're not a Christian. Okay. But most of them, and I can love you like that. I can love you and be in disagreement. They don't want you to love them. They want you to agree with them. And if you don't, they're intolerant of you, expecting
Right.
you to be tolerant. They're not tolerant. And they want to get it in your face and force you to believe
Right.
something that you don't believe. And I'm not
No.
forcing Christ
But
on anybody.
and I think the problem is a lot of Christians do try to force, and that's the
Oh
big
yeah.
problem.
Oh yeah.
Where I call us what I would say, I don't even know how to. Hey, I'm gonna mute myself for a second. You keep on talking.
Okay. Okay. So if we go back to the original of the New Testament church, the original intent of the New Testament church is that God loved the world, and that's fine. He sent his son died on the cross, and if you receive him, people come into your life in the Holy Spirit. And the original intent was for people, as Jesus said, to be born again, to be being born again. He give you a new way of life, a new standard of living, and all that. And the people began to live that kind of life without saying a great deal. Their life had changed so drastically for the better that people began to ask them, what has changed in your life? And then they began to share about Christ to change their life. Could you imagine today if Christians, after going to church and went out
Yeah.
Monday through Saturday and just without saying anything?
Yeah.
People would say, "What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Night, they ain't talking about what they're going to do." That's the only thing with Facebook. Facebook reveals everything you do. As you say, a Christian all week long, and y'all need to pray for me and pray about this and all this kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden pops on Facebook that you out there partying like crazy. And Facebook got you. Eyelids are about half closed. Your friends and your eyelids are about half closed and all that kind of stuff.
You need to get closer to the mic. That was
all right.
Hold on.
That's all right. We tried. Okay, that's all right.
Yeah.
We tried on this, and
hold on. I'm not tech savvy either, but
I'm not.
Hold on. That was your daughter.
Oh,
His robot on and off. It might be his headphones. Well, yeah, it's trial and error. Yeah.
Well, I with us, we don't know.
And
I will try to keep this mic up to my mouth.
yeah.
I'm used to.
Yeah, but I don't think it's that. I think it's something else. So anyway,
So anyway, I just allow as individuals, individual Christians, just learn how God wants us to be and how He wants us to live our life during the week.
yeah.
I think we've
Well,
come
yeah.
out so far ahead.
And
You know.
yeah, that's back in the day when I did teach Sunday school at one point. This was 30 years ago,
Yeah.
maybe. But the one thing at the time, we were talking about why your friends aren't in the room with us, and I said, "What did you do on Saturday night? Were you at the same party all your friends was at, and was you acting a fool?" I said, "So you're telling them to come to church? Why? Why would they want to come to church? That they see you act just like them, so why would you?" And that was a big discussion back then, and that's where people talk about Christians being hypocrites and all that stuff. So, but like you said, if we live the way we're supposed to, per the scriptures, and not say nothing, that's where it comes in. Uh, let people see how you are; they'll know that you are.
Yeah. When people, I think the thing that bothers me the most is how Christians will they'll do something which they know what they ought not to do. They know, and then they'll and they sound just exactly like a politician. He'll say it was a mistake. I would just soon have somebody just be up front with me and say, "Yeah, you're right. I shouldn't have done that. Yeah, I was wrong." Then to sit there and say, "Well, we all make mistakes, and just try to excuse things. If I do
Yeah.
something, I don't try to excuse it. We say cussing in the cow pens, or I guess construction or everything, but being a cowboy,
Yeah.
cussing in the cow pen. It doesn't matter whether you're a cowboy or not. If you ain't supposed to be cussing like
Yeah.
that. Okay, just
Yeah.
be honest about it. Than to sit there and try to make
Yeah.
the cowboys cuss.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of other people cuss. So and here's the other thing, Warren, that I really, and I think Job and a lot of them hit on this about that. Christians don't quite grasp that there's a lot of people out there, a lot of
You
people
mean
out
like?
there
Yeah.
that are basically according. I mean, we're all sinners, okay, but they're good people. They marry, they take care of their family.
Yeah.
They're charitable in their giving. They raise their kids good. They love their wives. They provide for their family. All of these, we Christians act like we cornered the market on that.
Yeah.
We Christians help society. You know what I'm saying? Now, the difference is that a Christian does things because hopefully they do things because the Lord do it, because we have been born again and we have a standard. Okay, and the world is right now the moral compass is off, but within that group there are
Yeah.
still good people. And it's like Job. He had all that he had, and that was the concept. Well, if I have all this,
Right.
if I have the camel, cattle, children, houses, all this kind of stuff, God is blessing me.
Yeah.
See, I am blessed by God.
Yeah.
But when all of that was taken away from him, and in that mindset, well, if you're successful, God's blessed you. What if other Christians are working just as hard as you are, but you're making not doing just as well? Okay, so you're saying basically you're saying God blessed me more than He did you. Okay, you're working just as hard, but He chose me. No, it's simply that He has a purpose for that, whatever it might be. But I'm saying that his friends come to him. Job came to him. Job, that if you're successful, God bless you. But if you're not, you've done something against God. You've done something against God.
Yeah.
Job said, I ain't done nothing. Oh, yeah. See, we're your friends, Job. You can tell us. You don't have to tell everybody else,
Yeah.
but we know that. And then Job came to the point that he couldn't quite understand because he saw those who did not believe in God, did not live for God, that served pagan gods, that and especially in the psalmist, you'll find in I think 54th, 55th, but you'll find 73rd. You'll find that there are people have fine-looking children. They're very successful. All of these things, and Job said, "Wait, I can't connect that. I'm supposed to be blessed with all this stuff." Now, after everything is taken away, God blessed him even more abundantly. But I'm just simply saying to sit there and say, "Oh, we Christians have God in our lives, so we're supposed to have everything, and you ungodly people have nothing. They have all they're going to get in this world.
Yeah.
Our reward is to come.
Yeah.
Our reward is to come. They get it all."
Well, I mean, I could be like Job. I can see some things that happen in my life where I see people. I'm not gonna get it, but I saw people being successful and all this and that, and then I'm sitting there struggling, and I never once just said, why, what they did to me, why are you allowing them to be successful? I never said that because I figure, you know, I never questioned it, I guess. And, it took 19 years to see something happen to them. I mean, I've been blessed all the way, but at the beginning, you see people succeed, and you're like, why? I never questioned why, but I could see where I could have been very angry a lot and saying, why I got this crappy truck and they got this nice vehicle. I see them all the time, and I got this, the gold truck that was $1,000 that had roof tar in it. It had a dent in every panel except for one. I mean, it lasted me 100,000 miles, but I'm sitting there driving that, and then I see them driving nice new cars, all that, and I'm going, I just never questioned it because I just kept my head down and did what I'm supposed to do as a dad or whatever. But so yeah.
That and my life and I know what the world's perception of because all these mega churches, and this, and that we've never had much money or anything, but we've had all that we need. But it's funny how we think as Christian. I'm talking about not when I say we, I'm not talking about every Christian, okay? But we act as if we're exempt, okay, from certain things. For instance, I can remember, I can't remember his name, but a pastor got cancer, and they said, "You're serving the Lord. Why did the Lord allow you to get cancer? Why did the Lord allow you to get cancer? He said, why not me?
Think about
that answer. What makes me so special that I'm supposed to be exempt from everything? If this world, as a Christian point of view, if this world is such a mess,
and we believe that there will be an end to it,
and we believe that there will be an end to it,
and
okay?
I'm part of this,
And I'm part of
what
it,
makes me think that
and I'm exempt from what everyone else is going through.
And I think that could be one of our subjects to talk about because that gets asked all the time is why did the Lord let this happen to so and so? And he's
Yeah.
tried to change his life and do right. You know, that can be a subject for later because you're right, you know.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good subject. The thing is that we all live here on this, and if it happens to all of us.
Right.
Okay, and this podcast, hopefully, for instance, I was reading. Let me read you James.
Okay.
Okay, and this is the way I think. Look here, you people who say today or tomorrow,
going to such and such a town.
we're going to such and such a town, stay there a year, and open up a profitable business.
What's going to happen?
How do you know what's going to happen tomorrow?
So as a Christian,
So as a Christian, what we say
if
and
the
should
Lord
say,
wants us to,
if the Lord wants us to, we'll live and do this or do that. Otherwise, you just be bragging about your own plans, and such self-confidence never pleases God. Well, I've tried to live with such what James said. I don't know what's coming tomorrow. And guess what? A person without Christ, an unbeliever, lives the same kind of life.
has to live in this world.
Has to live in this world just like I do.
Hopefully,
So
if we
hopefully,
do podcast,
we
begin to see some
podcast,
basics.
we'll begin to see some basic, and I won't get into some deep theological
Studies in the Greek and the Hebrew and everything.
studies in the Greek and the Hebrews and everything. We're all struggling.
And the Lord gives us
Some things to give a great deal of thought to make it easier for us.
Yeah.
We're not going to live.
We're not going to live an easy life. Not good.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, we've gone. Of course, I went 10 minutes of muted microphone with my introduction. No, I mean we're probably this will probably turn into an hour. We've gone about 42, 43 minutes. But again, I mean, if you want to keep going, but I was going to just end it there, and we'll.
Yeah, that's fine. But understand what this podcast is about.
So
Okay,
we're going to pick a subject to talk about, and I mean, we're going to talk about mental health. We're going to talk about probably some stuff y'all aren't going to like, and if you don't, I mean, we are grown people, and you know, if you don't like what we have to say, we're probably not going to lose any sleep over it. I'll just be honest with you. I know he's older than me, and I've gotten to the point I really don't care how you feel about me. It's not going to hurt my feelings. So, I mean, there's some things that have been on my mind. I'm not going to start them tonight. I'll probably talk Tuesday night by myself about some of the things that it's just been on my mind to make sure some of y'all that watch the mainstream media, mainstream news. If you do, you know, it's just my opinion. And there's some things I want to make sure that y'all know if you're not doing research on certain subjects or listening to other people that actually do research and not just feelings. You know, might be sometimes we talk about we want to give you facts of a certain subject that has come up in you know in today's time, and we're going to give you facts based on the people um, that have researched and will research and just give you a different opinion to make you think about it. I mean, I know in this household we're all critical thinkers. Even my daughter, we think things through, and we're not going to believe things at face value. And
Right.
that's the only reason why I want to say that we're going to give you the facts. And if you may not agree with it, and that's okay. And you know, that everybody's got an opinion, and we're just gonna give you facts, and you can go from there. You ain't got to like it. Yeah, I mean, we may not get a lot of people like this podcast, but we're gonna have fun doing it because we talk about everything all the time anyway, and figured we just do a podcast about it and maybe help some people out and helps us talk through stuff and all that. Again, if you got a certain subject that you're dealing with that you want us to discuss, the boat ramp 24 at gmail.com. You can send us an email and put in the subject line. I should have wrote this in the description. This was supposed to be just a mess around time, but put in the subject line Beyond the Ramp so we know what it's for in case somebody sends something for the Two Guys One Doc on Friday nights. Anyway, put Beyond the Ramp in the subject line, and if you got something you want us to discuss, we'll look at it and see if it's a discussion that you know that we can get behind, and you know maybe help whoever asked out. And anyway, that's
I thought what you just said that I was fixing to say. We've lost the art of discussion.
Yeah.
I don't think we even understand what discussion is. We act as if we have to debate somebody or attack somebody. We're just discussing this, and if you want to get on here trolling, I just saw someone that had become a Christian. She said she used to get on YouTube, all these Christians, and as long as she would troll them, trying to interrupt their peace, and they'd get upset. She would just absolutely rejoice over the fact that she made Christians get mad. We're not going to get mad. We expect people to like, some of the things.
Again, we are too old to really care if you get mad at us, and I'm gonna sleep like a baby on my pillow. I know if y'all watch some other people that have codes, they got some specials on. I love them. I'm gonna have to get me some My Pillow old man slippers. That's what I'm gonna get. But anyway, again, we're gonna work some kinks out because I don't know. I keep hearing robotic, and even I've had some texts about. And I think maybe it's because we're in the same room. And if I'm here at the house next time, we'll probably do it on one camera with our two mics. And instead of basically, I wanted to be here to make sure that he configured his computer right. So when I'm in a hotel, he can do everything he needs to do. So,
and I'm going to mess it up because I'm old.
Yeah, I mean that's old people crap.
Old people crap. Yeah,
all the time.
Yeah, I'm thankful I can turn on the computer and get on Facebook.
Yeah, I'm gonna end with that story. how many years ago? When did you get on Facebook? And I know some of y'all watching that.
15
I
years,
know
15
I
years ago,
know a lot of
15, I
y'all
think.
watching tonight. Y'all love Dad's little things he types, and that was the other thing. Why type it out? Let's get on a podcast and let him talk about it. Anyway, so 15 years ago, he come to me and said, "Hey, can you show us how to get on Facebook?" And I was like, "Oh, good Lord." So I did, and I never forget. And I do this with even some coworkers because you know I'm glad I got hacked. And if I send you a friend request, make sure it doesn't have JNR or some crap after my name. That's not me. But if I send you a friend request, I got hacked with about 2,000 followers. Now I got 243. Now I pick and choose who I want. But he goes, "Hey man," when he figured out friend requests, he goes, "Hey, I sent you a friend request." I said, "Yeah." "Well, you ain't accepted." I said, "Well, maybe I don't want you seeing what's on my Facebook." "Well, are you trying to hide something from us?" And I was like, "Oh man." So I gave in, accepted his friend request. Yeah. So I don't know if it was a curse or it was a good or bad thing that he got on Facebook. But anyway, I know a lot of y'all like his stuff, and I know he preaches, and I know a lot of y'all would love to hear him preach up at the church in Avon Park. But figured I'd get him on podcast, and we just talk about things that me and him talk about. And so tonight was just introduction. We're gonna come up with a subject, and I'll be putting that on the boat ramp. Please go like and share and comment whatever on Facebook. And if you're watching on YouTube, please follow, subscribe, all that. You know, we just need to get it bigger. We got 150 something right now on Facebook, but my YouTube is lacking. So if you want to go to YouTube, go over there and subscribe. Let's build this up a little bit. Of course, you know, some of the stuff we're going to talk about, YouTube might not like, especially in the next 90 days anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we might not be on either one. We may have to switch to Rumble. I was on X and I got to figure that out. I've tried to go to premium. You got to be a premium member to go live. So I got to figure that out again. But I'm gonna also work on getting on Rumble. And if you don't know what Rumble is, you need to go ahead and download that because some of the subjects we talk about might be ixnayed, and we're gonna have to have somewhere to go. So anyway, appreciate y'all. You wanna
Yep.
you wanna just say
I want you all to understand our relationship as father and son. Okay, so when he's talking about that Facebook, even if on Facebook, if he said put something on there that I strongly disagree with or don't like, I'm not going to do that to him. And it's just like here at the house. When he's home, he has an efficiency. He stays behind the house, and that's where his shop is. And we have an understanding that he doesn't tell me what to do here. And he said, if what goes on behind this house at his place, the first time I say something, there's going to be
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So it doesn't mean we get along all the time, but we don't interfere. We know our boundaries.
Yeah, and just to give a perspective on that, I finally let's see, man, we could talk all night, but to give perspective on that, I'll give. I mean, I don't like to really talk about myself, but in let's see, I was 45 at the time, and I was doing work in Winter Park and doing a bunch of Florida work for a company. And I said, I was going down on Sunday mornings playing golf with all my friends I went to high school with. And I just said to myself, you know what? When I turn 55, I'm going to move back to Lake Placid and I'm going to move into the 55 and up mobile home park that I used to cut grass for. That was my plans. Well, a year later, the Lord had other plans and opened a door for me to move back. Well, and I moved to Lake Butler first, and then I was ready to buy a house. And I asked the company I work for, I said, hey, do I need to live near the office or do y'all care where I live? They said they didn't care. And I wanted to move back to Lake Placid. I was going to do it at 55. I'm still shy of that, believe me. I'm trying to stay shy of the 55. But, anyway, I moved back and probably almost 9 years, 2017, I moved back. So how many years ago was that now? 7 years? Is that right?
Yeah, that'd be about right. We left
Yeah.
19.
So I was down here about 2 years, and this is before he had his abdominal aortic aneurysm and open heart
Triple bypass.
But we had discussed, I said they wanted to get back to Florida, and I knew on their retirement they wouldn't really be able to, just afford to just pack up and leave. So I said, why don't y'all move in with me? We'll do an addition. And we basically, long story short, we decided my best friend's mother was putting their house up for sale, made an offer, and it has a efficiency out back. So I said, y'all have the big house because I'm never here. So, but Dad, this is the big house is his domain, which he's lying because the room we're in, that's the only domain he has. I just be honest. My mom's got the rest of the house. He acts all big and tough, but yeah.
Hey, I just thought of
Uh-huh.
something. When we moved from Florida to Alabama, you were farm-based.
I did. I followed him. I was ready to move somewhere,
Followed
and I
us to
shouldn't have.
Alabama. All
But
right. Yes. And you followed us. So then when we moved to Florida, we decided to follow you. Payback.
All right.
All
I
right.
appreciate y'all, and hope y'all enjoyed this little introduction. Next Thursday will be topic, and we'll stay on point. And anyway, just again, you can message, you can email, you can comment if you got any subject that you want us to talk about, and it can be anything. So appreciate y'all, and see you next
Thursday.
next Thursday. All right, later.